Welcome to Positive Filter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Filter. I'm joined by two special guests. I call everyone a special guest to me, but I'm joined, and let me tell you, I'm joined by the legends of Mason. They paved the way for a lot of young black men, particularly alphas, and they're actually Woodbridge royalty. The mayors plural, of Woodbridge and Triangle, because I had to give you both titles. I'm joined by Aaron and Abel. Go ahead and introduce yourselves to the listeners real quick.
Good evening. Well, I was evening. Late, but 8:30. But my name is Aaron Agyemang Mensa. Like Phil said, went to Mason. Graduated from 2000. Graduated May 2017. Wow, it's been 3 years. Time goes by fast. Graduated with applied information technology degree. Business minor and sports management minor. Just a little bit about me. I love playing video games. I love FIFA. So if anyone wants to, take some L's on FIFA, just let me know. I might be the best FIFA player on the sticks.
Hey, call out your gamer tag then real quick.
Wow, AA_94.
Okay, you hear it there. I might put that in the show notes. And go ahead, Abel, tell me a little bit about yourself.
How you guys doing? Good evening. My name is Abel Agyemang, recent graduate of George Mason University. My major was information systems, operations management. I currently work at KPMG.
Sheesh.
Think about me. You'll see me on Twitter a lot. I like to be a funny guy. Sometimes, I just be bored, but Twitter it's just a funny place, man. Like, that's the number one spot to go to when you're bored.
Oh, hey.
Eventually, I do want to cut back on how the quarantine stuff is not helping, but yeah, man. I'm part of the real world now. That everyday job life.
Yes,
I miss college, man.
There you go. I love it, and particularly that's why I had you guys on the show today. One is I wanted to talk about your college experience and how it was very similar. Because y'all both went to Mason, and also just your trajectory of getting to college, because what I know is y'all are very accomplished academically, and to get there was quite a journey. But before I go, just a quick update. How y'all feeling about this corona? How y'all doing? I know y'all held up in the house, but how y'all handling it right now?
Well, since we're living under the same roof, handling in the best way, staying positive. Our company issued, 30-day work from home policy. I'm a cybersecurity specialist at Care First. So, just trying to make that transition. Usually I work from home on Fridays.
Okay.
30 days is like, you kind of feeling a little trapped. Trapped in the computer room, literally from 9 to 5. I'm like, wow, I'm here. I can't really go out like that. But, I try to use the best, try to make the most out of it, try and stay strong. I realized, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, this whole coronavirus, sometimes you think about it, like, what is God trying to teach you or tell you about this? So basically just, cherishing your family. Mm-hmm. Like last week we had like a prayer where we just pray as a family. We haven't done it for a while. So that was good. And just kind of cherishing a lot of things that we take for granted. Because right now I love sports. So not watching NBA, or even what else, like UEFA Champions League, or different sports, March Madness too. Filling the brackets is not there, so it's totally different right now. So it's just like a different feeling.
I feel that too. I think I love that, and we're gonna go on to other things, but I love what you did say, what you learned that you take for granted. I'm a big extrovert, a people person. Get me out there with the people. I love where I work, particularly I work at Mason. I love working and seeing students on campus. And I'm literally going crazy because, as you said too, we're trapped in our own homes. And so I didn't realize how much I took for granted social connection while social distancing. Like, not even the fact that I had to hang out with someone, just being able to have the ability to being taken away from me is something I took for granted. Like, if I had the choice if I wanted to see someone or not, but now having no choice and being told what to do is very trapping to me. But I like that you said it. You take for granted, you don't realize it until a circumstance like this. How about you, Abel? How you holding up?
I agree with both of y'all. I just feel on the fence with things. You feel weird. Like you wake up, everything is repetitive. I mean, I was already teleworking for a while, but now it's like, and it's ironic because I was set to go into the office finally.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in the office 4 days a week, and on Friday it was teleworking. That's when they're like, oh yeah, mandatory telework because of this whole coronavirus. So it's just like, you start realizing the things that you miss. Like sports is big because, like, I'm a big sports fan, so you take that away. And even just being on Twitter, all you see is just sports highlights over and over. And over.
Yeah, the same ones, yeah.
Freaking ESPN posted like WrestleMania, like it's just so you start realizing like, damn. Oh, excuse my language.
No, that's
But those type of activities, like, we really take for granted. And even me, I'm a big fit. Like, I'm not considered a big fitness person, but I always like to run. So I can still run. I'm gonna run after this. But it's like the fact that, like, someday I was in kickboxing since January. I can't do that. Sometimes I go to the gym. I'll try to split it up. That's how I was getting healthy too. I was getting on course before I went to my whole trip. Our whole spring break trip was cut short. We were supposed to go to Puerto Rico. But we ended up just doing Miami. It was supposed to be Miami, then fly to Puerto Rico. But by the time we're in Miami, everything just got very bad. So you start realizing people's vacations. Just even like today, my highlight of the day, I went out twice to get Chick-fil-A in the morning. And that was just fresh air. And then going up to Walmart right before this was like fresh air too.
I feel that too. And I feel that. And before we get into the episode, one thing this is one of the things that's probably going to hit me the most and probably hit me as a student higher ed professional. I just feel a lot of sadness for those graduating seniors right now. Me, I be going to graduations. I love to see the people I support walk across the stage, and for them to not have that, it kind of, even for me, hurts my heart, because I know that, it's just a graduation is it's the celebration that you made it. You did all this hard work. Now they're not going to have that. That really hurts. But now I realize it's not even just the college seniors. It's going to be high school kids too that won't be able to have that. And so I don't know, man. I think that also takes for granted too, like how much we, my wedding wasn't postponed. I got married. I can't imagine, building up to a wedding and having that taken away from me. I can't imagine having a graduation I worked hard for to look forward to and that taken away from me. So it kind of gives me a little bit of perspective, like, wow, like there's a lot of things that I got a chance to celebrate, and some people might not have that same feeling. So my heart goes out to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was just thinking about graduate 3 years ago. I'm just like, walking across the stage, shaking the dean's hand, or even the president or principal, wherever you're at. Just think about the accomplishments. People who've helped you. Paved the way just to get you there. A lot of graduating seniors, or even my super seniors. I graduated 5 years.
Hey, shoot, I did too. So
seeing that, just like, dang, it kind of hurts. It hurts them. Even though a lot of schools are saying, yeah, you can come back to December. It's not the same.
No, that's true. No, true. And you didn't get a chance. Yeah. Like I saw Abel, you got to do the train, man.
Yeah. Me and Juju, bro.
Yo, you got to do that. You got to stunt for the whole university. You got and they don't even get that. Like I bet you. Did you? Hey, a real random tangent. When did you decide you was going to do that? The day of the week.
I think we was talking about it weeks prior, but we're trying to figure out what exactly we did, what we're gonna do. See? I think we made that one up like the day of.
There you go. But you got that.
And we're like, yeah, we're gonna, like, when I sit down with him, we're talking about what exactly we're gonna do. because we're hesitant because like we don't want to do it, and then like with with the whistle, somebody's name is being called. We're just like, you know what, F it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but that's a moment. So now we're gonna backtrack. So we talked about a little bit of sadness, but let's talk about the journey, right? So both of y'all went to Mason. Let me just dial it back. I know, Aaron, you were through the EIP program. Abel, were you through the EIP program as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's dial it back, and both of y'all give y'all experiences, because the journey for you to get to college is quite remarkable. So maybe just start from high school or not high school, whatever, middle school, and just that early on experience of knowing. Talk about how EIP helped just kind of get you prepared or interested in going to college, and you can share your different experiences on that.
Okay, I'll go first. So basically, I was part of EIP program. Abe and I, like eighth grade. That's when you kind of is the introduction.
You spent your first summer.
Yeah, first summer away. Well, you say away, but kind of like summer school, basically. But we're young at the time. You're like, yo, I'm wasting my summer. You know what I'm saying? Like I can be with my friends, go to the mall, go to the movies, but just look back at it. It's definitely worth it. Even sometimes you go, you spend your Saturdays too. The weekends was important. From middle school and high school, spend your weekends, go to like a certain high school. Depends what county or which area you were at. You had tutors for Mason, and looking back at him, like, oh, those tutors, they were students. So trying to get paid and like help us within our math, science, English, writing. So basically, it's a commitment, basically. But I realized not a lot of people were committed. But sometimes you're like, you know what, I'm in sports, or I don't want to spend my Saturdays. I keep with my friends. And sometimes, I wanted to be a part of that group, but I'm like looking at the long picture, like, yo, Aaron, just stay, be a part of the program, and it'll help you. And one thing about EIP, they tell you, like, if you do well, or be a lifetime commitment member. They always talk about the opportunities, talk about partial scholarship, full ride, people's journeys. So over the summer, we had that experience of going to Mason, like Prince William campus or Fairfax campus, where you at. So we had that ability, people come and guest speakers, people who are part of the EIP program, like class of 07, 06, 05. So they were talking about the journey. And one thing I loved about EIP, it was talking, their motto was always helping first generation students. So like my mom finished school back in 2014 going to her nursing school, but like my dad and my mom came from Ghana, and they didn't really have that education background. So if you look at EIP, it's like first generation students, college students going, and majority of us are just first timers going to college. So just having, like, I have to shout out to Lewis, Mr. Lewis, held it down. Kasim Davis, Rena, they're still part of the EIP family. Every time I go back to Mason, I always stop by and see them. But they really were influential of Abel and I just making sure we stuck to the program through the summers. Billy just to bless us. Abel and I with like a partial scholarship to go to Mason.
Yeah, and Abel, obviously, did you just tag along because your mom made you stay with your brother, or you kind of wanted to do it yourself eventually?
Oh, he had to step out though, but he had to step out. He come back. Yeah, okay. Clean up, but yeah.
So okay, so that you were in that program and you're going through it, and they're exposing you to different things. It's not necessary that after you go through EIP that you have to go to Mason. You can go to other schools.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to like continue on with Mason through this program instead of going to another school?
I would say it came down to the money factor.
Okay.
One thing about EIP, they always talk about they give heads up and talk about financial aid. Not many parents don't know about financial aid or like loans, grants. So they gave me like a breakdown. So I got accepted to ODU, Penn State, what else? Other schools as well. So I told myself it will come down to the price. And what schools will giving me the best like offer. I told myself like, yo, do I really want to be 80, 100K in debt? That's one thing. Because you always have to think about the long term.
I didn't. So I got you. I didn't, but yeah, because I should have. But the money part, I wasn't thinking about that money. I didn't think about money like that in school, and I should have. So you're already ahead of the game because that is a big factor. Thinking about, well, no matter what, if you got accepted or not just looking at the brand of the school, but also thinking about the money that goes involved with the cost. I didn't think about that as much.
So it came down to the decision of money. Then I realized, I've been to Mason so many times since like 2009. So I knew where the JC, the rack or other buildings were located at because we would go there over the summer. So it just and I knew the people, so that transition wouldn't be bad. Sometimes you can go to like a different outside. You don't know anyone, but I knew like Rena, Mr. Lewis, Kasim. So anything, if I need help, they can be like a resource to me, just in case I'm struggling in classes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it came down to that, and EIP is like a family.
So what about you, Abel? Are you back?
Abel's back now.
Yeah. So Abel, I would just ask your brother, like he told us his EIP journey. Did you just tag along with your brother because you had to, or you started to like look at what he was doing and wanted to be a part of the program yourself?
So I mean, So even with EIP, I feel like we were forced into it.
There you go. Yeah.
So even like I've been following my brother a lot, like pathwise, but even middle school. He went to a different middle school than me. I went to a transfer. I had a specialty program, the IB program at Godwin Middle School. So Godwin directly goes into Garfield and a couple other schools. But Grand Park, like Aaron's middle school, his school goes to Forest Park, which is the school my middle brother went to. Aaron ended up doing IB, so he went to high school at Garfield. So like it's kind of like when he broke down the news, I remember he forced me in middle school at 5th grade year. I applied. I didn't want to go to Godwin at all because all your friends don't apply. Because like everywhere I go, I always make a set of friends where I'm known at that type of like university or school or all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I have to start over, all this type of stuff. I was devastated. I remember I was crying. And then 6th grade year at Godwin, I remember my first day, I didn't know anybody. Only thing I knew was that I consider my brother too, Kofi. He went to Godwin, but he's in 9th grade now with Aaron. So at least when Aaron started 9th grade, he had like my kind of like a woman we consider our sister, Michelle. A couple other people he grew up with. Me, I didn't have anybody starting. I just seen some people. I went to the second elementary school after we moved. That I went to. Like you kind of like you remember familiar faces, but I did not know anybody, so I was like devastated. So like after that, Godwin, I loved Godwin. By the time I hit my 7th grade year, 8th grade year, Godwin was that school for me. I was glad I went there. So it's kind of like funny how things work out. A lot of times it was like the way my dad is so pressed on like education.
Yeah.
It kind of led to his differences between me and him. But a lot of times when you reflect on it, I'm like, yo, these schools, I really had a great time at the schools I went to. Like, I mean, Garfield was a given because now it's like that's the base school. So I wanted to go to Garfield, and I knew I was going to do IB or whatever. But his plans, he wanted me to go full IB. I think he wanted me and my brother to go full IB, and what you would call the full IB program was like, honestly, a lot of the IB stuff, I've been telling kids, all right, even when I talk to them EIP and stuff, do it based on your strengths. Because your freshman and sophomore year, they're not weighted. So now you're out here getting a B or a C plus in a certain class that's not weighted. But your junior and senior year, they're weighted. So, like, for example, IB English, I knew I could get an A in it.
That's me. Yeah, I did that too. I did partial IB. So I didn't do the full IB program.
Yeah,
I did partial, and I was like, I only did the ones I cared about, like the ones I knew I was going to do better, like English and history. But I was like, yo, I'm trash in math, so I'm not doing the IB math one. So
I did IB math, but it was like it's kind of like the lower level IB math.
Which one? Math studies?
Math studies? Oh, math studies.
You just get it when you get away.
That's the one I did too. That's the one I did. IB math studies.
But science, I knew for sure, bro. I was not doing no IB physics. I wasn't doing no IB.
IB bio.
Those people, IB bio, like, bro. It was out in the fields. I was out here. I was with you know how people say the regular kids had a great time, bro. I was going to sleep in class, all that type of stuff.
No, man,
I
I
was
was with you,
leave
man.
class early in high school. Just how our teacher was, because I knew I was going to get an A in those classes regardless. So my last 2 year schedule set up was, especially my senior year, was set up perfectly. So it's kind of like you also know how, your parents a lot of times dictate what you're going to do, but you also got to know your strengths. Because like if I would have my dad dictate my schedule, I don't think my GPA was going to be the way it was going to be. And now talking about Mason. So the funny thing
Yeah.
about Mason, it was always in the back of my mind that I might attend that school because I was doing
Okay.
VIP, all that type of stuff. It was like a good safety.
Yep.
But
There
I
you
was
go.
like, ideally, I think I wanted to. Tech was number one for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I got into tech by, I'm a big tech football fan, all that type of stuff.
Yep.
I never even visited tech until.
Yeah.
So we never went on a visit until I seen Quad. That was a funny thing. So this year was the first time I went to tech.
So you had the dream vision of tech based off football, which is I ain't gonna lie, I've done that too. But you never touched down. Like I never went to tech, but like after I was in college to party.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
go. I didn't go pre. I didn't go pre. I went to JMU because I participated in a camp in the 8th grade. So I already had in my mind what JMU looked like, and that was like my dream school. Based off, but it was similar to EIP, where I went there in a camp, and I was like, that's what college looked like. So the image was like, I had to go to JMU. That's the college that I want to go to because of that early exposure to it. You know?
yeah, so VCU was like where all the Nova kids, like all the Garfield kids, all went
Okay.
to VCU. A lot of them because they just want to get away from home, all that type of stuff. Like,
Yep.
you're going to Mason. That's like when you tell people you're going to Mason, it's not a sexy pick, especially in Virginia. That's why I tell you now,
Yeah.
all these like Ghanaian kids, they want to go to ODU, they want to go to VCU because they see the African dance competition student and being in that type of environment where they're in the mix. I told them, bro, you can still have fun at Mason. It just depends on what you do. So I tell them, like, if you could go to Mason, Mason worked for me when I chose it because at the end of the day, I finessed housing for like 3 years.
Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't living at home. I didn't stay at home till last semester. And from there, I just know I was staying at multiple places on campus. So I was barely home. I'll come back and forth. Actually, I came home a good amount of times, but
I
I
get
was
you. And I think
at night.
And I think you touched upon it too. Like, I'm quite older than you guys, significantly older. And when I was growing up, this was before the 2006 championship. That Mason didn't have that reputation of being a college because it was like a commuter school. No one really lived there. I don't know if I would have went there if I went in a time machine. If I would have went out of high school, it's like almost like that kind of thing. Like, oh, you go to Nova, and when you go to Nova, you go to Mason. And that's just because you're gonna be staying around here and working. You're not going to college to have a college experience. You're going to get that degree and work. It wasn't a college, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It was like if you want to go to school, go away. You go to the ones that you just said, Tech and ODU. And I think more and more as we are progressing and the school's growing and it's more residential, I agree with what you said, Abel, is like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what college you go to, because you can go to VCU and have a trash experience.
Yeah, true.
You can go to Virginia Tech and never leave your dorm and not make no friends. It don't matter what college. But if, similar to what you just said, finessing housing or just knowing resources or getting involved and finding your community there, you can have fun at any school. It's because you make it. Like you just make the experiences what it is. Like you join things or you become a part of things. Like you said, the dance competitions. Like, who's to say you can't have a dance team at Mason and try to win? It's like it's almost like if you really care about these things, you get involved where you're at and build up that program there. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I be telling them is what you make it. Like if you come with that attitude. I remember my good sis Haneen, she was like, bro, she thought Mason was gonna be whack all the time. So I was like, nah, like first you gotta change. Like freshman year, I had the luxury of living on campus, so that helped me out. At the same time too, even my freshman year, I wasn't like people know me to be that person on Twitter, all that type of stuff. But honestly, Aaron has a bigger personality than me, where he could go into a setting, meet friends like that. Me, I'm actually kind of shy until I feel comfortable around you. So I won't talk like that, all that type of stuff. So that's what I was doing my first couple of months my freshman year. Plus, I came into college in a relationship, which is something that whatever listeners is doing, y'all should not come into it. I mean, unless like y'all gonna get married or like.
I was about to say, come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah, because Philly is different. So that's the high school sweetheart. But 99.9%, y'all not lasting. I'll tell you this right now, it's not. And then you realize, like, wow, I never had that true wild freshman year experience that like a Juju had or whatever. Like, he looked smart anyway. But they all
recorded.
Yeah, Juju and all the boys had. So like, they'll tell me his stories freshman year. I'm like, damn, I never had that type of fun because like I just felt like I was so sheltered and just like forced myself to stay in the crib. I remember Aaron sometimes would try and invite me stuff and I wasn't trying to go.
I was trying to invite him to alpha parties and kickbacks and stuff.
Oh, and then even that we forgot. I don't know if Aaron talked about the STEP program.
Let's back it up, and that's right. Like, so you did EIP, you did, you got to Mason. Familiarize me with a little bit about what the STEP program is. I don't think I'm not super familiar with STEP.
Okay, STEP is the Student Transition Empowerment Program, sponsored by ODIME Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Education. Now, I tell you, I think that's when I would say it was the best transition. Like, after high school, graduating, like, okay, I have to go backtrack. After I graduated high school, my mindset for summer 12 is, okay, I'm going to work over the whole summer, make some money, get some cash. I know, they always talk about college books.
Yeah.
Great classes are very expensive. I tell you, it was very expensive. I'm like, wow, you got to pay $600 for an access code?
Yep.
I'm like, wait, what? So that was my mindset. I'm like, I'm going to work each and every day from June to August. And, I'm have some bands. But then my dad, I always, I don't know how things work, but my dad just said, nah, I think there's a program at Mason.
Endurance, right? Endurance do stuff.
Forgot it was a homegirl. That's when but basically he was like, yeah, there's a program at Mason. It's like a transition program for people who graduate high school, entering the first year of college or a freshman year. It's like you take some courses. I'm like, wait, what? I gotta take courses, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just graduated high school, so I'm in my mindset like, nah, I don't want to do it. But he was forcing me, do it. And the best part about that is they pay for your courses, they pay for your books, and you can live on campus for free. So basically, over that summer 2012, I met some like good friends, BV, Jonathan, who was Jamar, Rodrigo, just a lot of people, Heidi, just good, Kiera, just a lot of great people, still connected to this day. Basically TJ as well. He's not there anymore. Gary, I don't know if you know Gary, Phil. He
the grown man Gary?
Gary, I think his last name Bald. Gary Davis, or something?
Yeah,
Odine. Yeah. I know, I met him.
Gary.
He's good people,
I met some mentors, Dion. Who else? Who was Rebecca, Jennifer? Jennifer just left. I don't know if you've ever met Jennifer.
Yeah, I met her. She was doing a lot of the DACA stuff.
She just met a lot of great people and just a lot of people what they're doing for the Mason community, but just the whole what they're doing in general. So it was the best thing. I just learned a lot. I learned about myself. I learned about other people as well. So it was a best thing, just transitioning and taking some class courses that counted towards your kind of not to say degree, but the credits that you have to pass to graduate. So it was the best thing.
Did you do that too, Abel? Did you go to the STEP program or you went straight in?
I did the same thing with that program, and ironically too, my dad, I don't want to do it because my birthday last summer for all my friends.
Yeah.
Or whatever, I had a girl at the time too. My dad, I wanted to spend the summer all that type of I was working at
McDonald's.
I think it was glad because it's funny because I stopped working at that McDonald's like April, even before prom, because I remember they said you had to cut your facial hair and all that type of stuff. I didn't like it. But I still remember getting like my checks would be like $56, $84 after the tax. Oh, I know I'm getting sidetracked, but yeah. So the whole
no, that's first of all, I'm glad you said that because that's terrible. That's what you're bringing home from McDonald's. Jesus,
very terrible. So then I remember doing it first day. I didn't want to be there. Like I was just pissed. Oh, but nah, that was a whole situation. That's why I'm like that whole relationship stuff could dictate your mood. I remember the first day I was there. I was moving. Actually, no, I don't think that was it, but I just don't want to be. It was rainy.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, we moved
but
in there.
Aaron already introduced me to a couple people because his homegirl was doing the program as like mentors.
Mm-hmm.
So they have like a mentee would be like us, and then the mentors would be like somebody heading into the junior, senior year type, or even sophomore year. Jermaine was a mentor one time too. But I remember that was the first time I met Jermaine. Jermaine wasn't a mentor, but Jermaine was taking classes in our he's taking summer class and stayed in our building that summer or whatever because he's a year above me. So then that's how I met my good people. You know, Xavier the Q.
Yep.
That's how I met X in the STEP program. I actually met him at orientation, but it was all there for STEP. Him and then the two twins. I don't know if you ever met them, Christian and Eastside. That was our squad coming in for STEP because we all acted like each other. Like, I mean, the way I act in certain situations where if it feels forced, I'm not gonna give you like the real me or whatever. Sometimes I might have to fake it, but I'm not like.
Yeah.
But you know, with them, I never felt like I had to fake it. Even like Vivi, Shanice, Felicia, and them, like we could be real with them. So I had that understanding. TJ and all of them are always understanding. But it was just like my only issue with that program was you would take two classes. Right? I took like art history. It was great because you had credits coming in. You had to stay on campus experience, but they don't. My only issue at that time was they try to like schedule everything for you. So like at a certain time you had to be in or whatever, and then those like discussion time. So I mean, those discussion times I have no issue with. I'm guessing it's just how long it took because sometimes I'd be like, bro, I'm ready to go.
Man, you are not. But I just figured that you are non-conformist, man. You just don't want to be told what to do.
You finally have a break in between classes to be like, oh yeah, we gotta do this. And I'm like, oh man, or whatever. But they always had you doing something. I remember we went to Pennsylvania for Hershey Park. So those activities and then what got me is I was too well fed, bro. I gained weight over that. I remember the first break we got to go back home because they wouldn't really let you go back home unless it was like a whole emergency because they really wanted you to be on campus. But they'll give you a break where everybody go back home for certain weekend. But I got big.
Oh yeah,
because they'll give you meal. It was
like, they gave you a stipend for meals.
Was like $180 a week.
Yeah, $180. Yeah,
basically, and just know on the weekends he was kind of getting fed. So now you got 5 days for $180, bro. We was calling, and then late night we'll stay up. So that's stuff, man, I miss, bro. I was with Christian Eastside, we'll stay up to 2 a.m., 3 a.m. That was our first taste of college, where it's like, bro, you could call Pisano's, and we'll just order steak and cheese all the time, eating dumb good, and that was my first take of getting big, because I would run, but the way I was eating, bro, like. That's why freshman year, like if you ever see me, Phil, that's why people always see me. Sometimes I've been losing weight all the time. It'd be back and forth because I could lose weight easily, and I mean I could gain weight easily and then shut it off. But yeah, that food got to me where it's like I experienced that freshman 15, and it was very unfortunate, man. But that's the times like even just you making me reminisce, like bro, I'll never get that back. That was some great. We was freshmen, we was kids. And then what was great is that coming in to Mason, I didn't really know that much people. Or whatever, but I had them from the STEP program like Xavier, Christian Eastside, where like I know I could hit them up to this day.
Yeah, you had a crew already. I think that's great. I think anything orientation programs or that is a good start off because for a lot of people it's away from home, and then you already kind of build like your community before you even start the semester. And then you go to classes and meet new people, but it's like it is comforting to ease, sometimes ramp people in rather than just drop them into college, like ease them into college. And not because they need to be eased in academically. Like, yeah, you definitely could handle it and take classes or not. It's more just like ease you into like building a community or building a friend group. That makes sense. Because like when you don't get that opportunity, I remember when I was a transfer student to James Madison, I was a transfer student. I felt like I had to play catch up with all these people and make my
own. Where did you transfer, Nova?
No, I transferred from Bowie State.
Oh, Bowie? Really? Yeah, you never told me. Yeah, you never told me that.
No, I went to Bowie for track. I mean, I'm a lot bigger than I was. I got a life 15, life 20, but I used to run track. I ran track at Mount Vernon. I ran track at Mount Vernon and had a track scholarship to Bowie State.
Oh, what events did you run?
Everything below 400. 400 below.
Oh, you was a sprinter?
Yeah, yeah. I don't look it. I gotta show you. I gotta show you some high
That's
school.
crazy.
I gotta show you some high school pics. But the thing is, I wanted to go to JMU, but I got waitlisted because my grades was trash. I wasn't I wasn't a very serious student, if that surprises you too. But I got waitlisted, but I always wanted to go to JMU, so I used Bowie State like a transfer school where I got my grades up and then I transferred. And then everyone's gonna say I chased it and I went to JMU to be with my wife or my girlfriend at the time, Maggie. But I wanted to go to JMU regardless of Maggie. It just was a bonus that she was already there at JMU because she was actually a good student as opposed to me. Um, but then I didn't move in with my girl. Like I said, I moved in when I got to JMU. I moved in with one of my good friends from high school, and he was my roommate. And then also Abel, which is kind of, I guess, anti what what you did is when I got there, I didn't want to be like Maggie's boyfriend. So I purposely made my own friends. Like like I made my own friends that were not in her friend circle because I wanted to have my own group of people so that people didn't think I just latched on to Maggie and all her friends were my friends. So I purposely joined groups like we call it Bond Brothers of a New Direction, which is very similar to Collegiate Black Men. It's the same exact thing. And similar to Collegiate Black Men and Bond, it was also like I wouldn't say recruiting ground, but it was the natural transition from you join that and the next semester either you're a Kappa or Alpha.
Oh man.
So it was a way for me to find a community of Black men on my own to be not away, but have my own group for Maggie. So kind of jumping, I think to draw that connection, both of you guys, okay, we're kind of going through the college journey. We're at the next phase of this journey. Probably the journey that the phase of this journey that joined me and you guys together is that you both became alphas. So tell us about that journey. So you're a step program, living life. You're now integrated into the community at Mason. You're making a name for yourself. Bring us to that point. Like, how do you decide? And let's start with you, Aaron, because you were an alpha first. How did that, from the step program to getting involved on campus, how did that transition to you becoming an alpha?
Well, wow, you're taking me back. I would say just definitely seeing people at church. There we had some you say frat brothers, alpha who are alphas.
I know you could call him out. I know who you're talking
yeah,
about too.
definitely Mike. Yeah, Mike. Small world. Mike. Tichi. Gideon Sarpong. Who else? Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Oh, and Kofi as well. He's a good. He's like he's 1 year older than me. He crosses a freshman at Virginia Tech, Radford, Ti. Just seeing them, how they were role models and how they were involved in church and stuff. So it's just like, wow, you kind of see their class personified in their presence and stuff like that. So came to campus. I really wasn't like, I know a lot of people is like, yo, I gotta be Greek when I first come. For me, it's like I was establishing my identity because I'm like, yo, this is a new area, new environment, away from my parents for like the first time. So I was like, okay, let me just get involved and get involved into different organizations. Before Collegiate Black Men, it was called Jetman.
They have another one. See, dang, all right.
Yeah,
so you're teaching me something new. So what was it called?
Agyemang.
Agyemang, okay.
Then what else? I was an RA as well for a year and a half. I was an EIP mentor, just giving back for EIP for what they've done for me and my family. So I was basically establishing myself. So I see the alphas on campus, or just like even fraternities, but just the alphas that stand out more. I'll see like brothers who cross like fall 12, spring 11, like Brandon, Chow, Kenny, Washington, Adrian Vaughn, Delonte. There's a lot of people who were just involved, not just alpha, but just involved in like different organizations. Jetman, somewhere on the track team, some ABU. They were just involved in different areas and for Patriot leaders as well. So I would see them like, oh wow, they people love them. People respect them. That's one thing. So I think after my sophomore year, second semester, I was like, okay, let me just see what they're about. So I went to the informational. Then after that, I'd say just the rest was history.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And then what about you, Abel?
I said a lot of it had to do with Aaron, for real. But it's funny because I remember like Rodrigo. I think, yeah, that was so Aaron crossed
12, 14.
my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I come into college now. I remember some of the friends, like it's kind of like, oh, like they'll do the whispers. Like the mentors are like Vivi and them, Shanice, Rodrigo. Like, is he gonna be alpha? But like I didn't really know too much into it. It was more just like I kind of seen Aaron do it by seeing stuff on like what Stomp the Yard or whatever, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I wasn't.
I love it. Yo, first of all, can we just talk real quick about how you watch Stomp the Yard? That joke is the corniest probate I've ever seen in my life. Like, how they crash someone else's probate? You see that jump, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you don't do that. Yo, I would have fought someone if they did that jump for real.
Yeah.
Yo, they literally they came in someone else's probate. I think someone would have threw hands, but that's another story.
So yeah, that was the only like I wasn't too like because people in my family not really Greek, but people from the church that you find out. But I remember Aaron was interested in pursuing all that. Aaron, was doing all this stuff. So I come in. I remember the first thing I see with Greek life. Probably the first Greek life related thing I seen was through Twitter, like when Kappas were like shimmying and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, once they made it big through Twitter, like that Trey song, slow motion song.
Yeah.
That's what I remember seeing it like my senior year. But my first view of Greek life was at the expo for a lot of freshmen, for real. I mean, now they're probably on social media and it's on their feed way more.
Yeah.
Like I feel like maybe more the West African freshmen because I feel like those that been in the country or their families been in the country, they probably have like some type of Greek life in their family. While
Right.
the African ones is kind of like we're really like either first generation or nobody really that was Greek or whatever at that time for a lot of people, or you just didn't realize it because you weren't paying attention to it. So yeah, I remember seeing the expo, blah blah blah.
What's the expo? Is the expo you talking about the like kind of like the Get Connected fairs and all that stuff?
The one we do every time, every August. MPHC is like the second week of school.
Yeah.
So it's the first week of school, but towards the end of the first week.
Oh, is it? Oh, you're talking about the step show jump?
The step.
Oh, okay, yeah, the expo, the big expo. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, so you went to that and saw it. Okay.
Of my first view of Greek life. And I remember I try to go to some type of alpha events. I remember I helped out with Alpha Desiac. And I didn't really help out Alpha Desiac thinking much of it like alpha wise. It was more like Aaron was like, yo, there's a woman here. All that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I did it. And then I think I started really looking more until when we started doing the road trips and Aaron will always go whatever. Like it's kind of like cherry brother on the stroll, all that type of thing. So then by the time like my sophomore year or whatever, or heading into my sophomore year, that's when I feel like I had that interest, but I just didn't know when. And then, once the opportunity presented itself, that's what happened. But yeah, a lot of it had to do with my brother because you see it every day just being with him.
Yeah.
And then from there, you get connected to other alphas. And you find out like there's a lot of African alphas too.
Hey, shout out! Hey, I told you, man. Hey, shout out to my African alphas, and then AKA even further, shout out to my Ghanaian brothers because I'm adopted, and by ancestry.com, I'm 13%. So whatever. I'm adopted. I don't know the other numbers. I really didn't look at my other numbers, but that is true. For second, I noticed a lot of people. It's probably bigger than what it was when I was in college because social media has made it bigger. But if you didn't grow up in it, you didn't really have familiarity with it. Like for me, both my parents are Greek. My dad's a Q, my mom's an AKA.
Oh wow, that's I'm really learning this. I'm learning something new about you. I didn't know about the movie, but this is
wow. Yeah, and my sister's an AKA too. So
I know about this.
Huh?
I know about.
Oh, where's she cross at?
Theta. What's it called? Theta. Is it Theta Road, the one at VCU?
VCU, yeah, Theta Road.
But she was the one where they had it was a resurrection line where they had a bunch of girls.
Oh, okay.
Like fall 14 or something like that. I can't remember. But point is, she was doing it. My mom did it at Hampton. My dad's military, and he did it down in Fayetteville. So I already knew about it. Had all the paraphernalias all over my house. They got all these like plaques and stuff. But for me, when I got to college, as I said earlier, when I did Bond, it was either Kappa Alpha, that's who came out, and just who I gelled with was that at JMU. But as you know, I didn't cross at JMU. I crossed later in life, but it's still with me. And so it just naturally, I was exposed to it, but it did solidify, I guess, my college experience, just being around, not alphas wise, but just in general, finding like-minded individuals, like other black men at a predominantly white school. It was just helpful to have that kind of that connection for me. So I do understand, like, it doesn't matter what school you go to, especially if it's a predominantly white school, if you find your community. That
Yep.
makes sense. And like it seems like from both your stories, regardless of alpha or not, you found it in other ways. Like alpha was just the cherry on top, but you already had a community through the STEP program and EIP and all the other ways that you got involved on campus. Is that kind of correct?
Yeah, that's true. 100% true.
Yeah. So like this is kind of, going to a different part. Abel, you had a lot of similar experiences as your brother Aaron, but obviously you're your own person. Uh, what, when you look at both you guys, what are some things beyond, we did a t-chart of what was similar. What could you say was some things that you did, like, not on purpose, but just like made your own experiences at Mason as opposed to your brothers? Because I want to, highlight some of your own experiences that are unique to you.
I gotta think.
All right. For this one, like he said, touched about earlier, I'll go out my way, or I'll be in like different, I'll say different communities.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like like the Latino community at Mason, or just even just the say Asian community. I knew people, so I was just going around talking to them, just meeting them, different backgrounds and stuff. So I think just going out to different communities, because you can be in the I don't like to say, I don't like the phrase, but the black community.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got to be together close and stuff. Like you can be close, but just going out to stepping out your comfort zone, learning something new. So I think that's just one.
I know I already got a difference between, or maybe a difference, Abel, is I see that you are the mayor of Burke and you're really into basketball. You're cool with the people from, like, what's it called? The Giant Killers and stuff. How'd you get involved with, like, just
Oh
kind of,
yeah,
how'd you get involved with connecting with the basketball spirit and all that stuff?
yeah. Thing is, my freshman and sophomore year, I don't think I went to that much games.
Uh-huh.
I wonder why. But junior, senior, I started picking up on going on games where it was just, oh yeah, because RA stuff sometimes will be in the way. By the time I hit my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
like I had the ability to go to more games or whatever. It was more, my schedule was more loose. Especially last semester, I had the opportunity to go to more games Tuesday night or whatever from on campus. And then the Giant Killer stuff is all through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like we follow each other on Twitter, you invite me out, so I came out. They started doing more tailgates, trying to boost the student body, the student support for games. Met a couple of him, Giant Killer and by Georgia dudes, always chill because I go back and forth with them on Twitter, just geeking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just chill. Like invited me over, had some good food. So that's why I told some of the IA boys, come through or whatever. It was a great time with them, and then even then, I said also too was different for me and Aaron. I know too. I was a peer advisor also. Aaron was never a peer advisor. That's basically when you co-teach a class. I was co-teaching the EIP students for 2 years. So like as a freshman, some freshmen take University 100. I took it when I was a freshman coming in with a STEP program, but I could have also took it with EIP. There's two options about the STEP. STEP was, I think I was more comfortable with the STEP people anyways. That's basically like your intro. I think, Phil, have you ever went to one of those UNIB classes and did like a career?
I taught one, so yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
So you're one of the TAs for that. I taught not the University 100, but I taught the University 220, the career development class. And then I have gone into a University 100 and just did like the overview, like, hey, we want to introduce ourselves. We're from career services, Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so I was one of the TAs. I knew a couple of the younger kids or whatever off of that, and then RA. I lasted longer as an RA.
That's the difference.
Get the RA title, okay.
My boss is just always clutch. Like my first year while leader, I remember I told her when I was about to pursue Alpha and all that type of stuff. She went to Morgan State, so she kind of already knew how stuff goes.
So she was lenient with your schedule.
Lenient with stuff, yeah. And then the next year I had Eisen. I mean, by the time Eisen already followed him on Twitter before he even was my boss or whatever. I balled with him before. So I was doing like his grad school stuff. And he was chill. And then the next year I had Avery, but Avery left like a month in, and I had Kasim the Alpha.
Yeah, so I know Kasim Logan, right? Bro, yeah, Logan.
I was like, yo, like that senior year, what happened to him as my boss, bro? I was like, bro, I just talked to him, like, super chill. So my bosses were just very lenient on stuff. You know, at the same time, too, I think different from Aaron, I also had an internship while I was a co-op while at school. So I learned how to balance that because my first semester I wasn't doing too well. The second semester, like work performance wise, and once I adjusted, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and then study for that. That's what I had to do. But I mean, I just say probably. I mean, some of the mistakes he did, he would just inform me about, and he would point me to different directions where I could use other resources because we weren't the same major. He did IT and I did business, so at the end of the day, he only could give me so much help. But he pointed me to a couple people that are all ISOM. There's a good amount of people at Mason that work at KPMG. So that's how I got plugged into a lot of stuff, whether Nesby, whether Naba.
Yeah.
A lot of them introductions always started with this is Aaron's little brother. All that.
Yeah.
So from there.
Well, I mean, you got this too. I got the opposite experience because now I met you first and I say, this is Aaron Abel's brother. So there you go. You got that too. So I met you first. But yeah, definitely like I think and one of the things that's just so remarkable about both you guys is that you did this experience together. Both of you had very full experiences at Mason, but you also just like did multiple things. I don't know. I think it was just like you had a full college experience. Like if they wanted to slap like a generic, like, not to say cookie cutter, but like this is the involved student model, I would say I would use both of you guys as my model.
Involved student and still have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Both.
Had that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun. I definitely had a great time in college, for real. Like some people be too involved.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then some people just be like, grades, focus, go home. But I mean, everybody's situation is different, so it all depends on the family. Yeah. Mine, I was like, bro, I can't do that. Like, I couldn't do that commute, go to class, come back home. I'd probably hate stepping on the campus of Mason so much time. Those times, man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. My class attendance was very piss poor. I just know, like, if it wasn't mandatory, you was not seeing me half the time. Like, where I was, and I find people in groups where, like, a lot of stuff is all about you speaking up, talking, finessing. Otherwise, bro, you're gonna realize they want to keep you there forever.
Yeah, so that's the difference. I actually how they go to class.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has different models. I ain't gonna lie though, like I'm an in-person person. If someone left it up to me with just straight online experience, I'd flunk out of school. Like, I'm being totally honest with the listeners, man. I need to see people. I need to ask direct questions to the professor because like this online stuff, I'm talking about it right now. Dog, it's trash bags, man. I can't do this, y'all. For real. I like brick and mortar. That's just my learning style. I can't do this full online life. It's, I know it's convenient and digitally, but I need to see people. I need to ask real questions. And there's also some nonverbals that you get. Like what I heard over time is that only 13% of our communications is words. Like 80, whatever the rest, 80-something% is nonverbal communication, which is like tone or body language or eye contact. You learn so much more. And so I'm like, I'm struggling over here, So hey, so we got some good things. Maybe we do another part 2. I learned your college experience, but we're at the part of the show. I don't know if you listened before, but you're gonna listen to this one because it's your own episode called Shot for Shot. Mm-hmm. You get to ask me any question you want. I get to ask you any question I want. Not the shot for shot like the Instagram challenge. Everyone's taking shots.
Oh, okay.
Different one. I mean, we could do that later on Instagram. But so since it's 3 of us, we all get a chance to ask everyone else a random question. So who wants to go first with the random question for everyone else? And you both got it. The other 2 got to answer.
You got to start it off.
Yeah, start it.
All right, so, okay. So, both of you guys separately, what is the greatest sports team, like championship team, regardless of any sport of all time, in your opinion? And any sport, like for instance, you could say the greatest sports team, like cohesive unit, is the what's the 90? What year was it? 90 something Bulls.
96. No,
The 96 Bulls. You can say the 96 Bulls is the greatest team of all time across any sport. Which one would you consider the greatest sports team, championship team of all time in any sport? Or if it's too broad, we could just do one sport. What would you rather do? One sport?
One sport? Watch
I'll say 2001 Hurricanes.
You talking about?
Oh, okay. So you're talking about the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. Why?
You talking college football? Man.
Yeah, I think just that roster. Only weak spot is quarterback. The rest, that roster, all them, like, you have 3 NFL running backs, tight ends, defense. I think at that point, bro, they could win almost. They won 12-0. I'll put them up there against any.
Was the 01 that did the 01 have Clinton Portis and Willis McGahee?
Yeah, then Sean Taylor
and Jeremy Shockey. Who was the quarterback?
Ed Reed. Dorsey. Yeah, Dorsey.
Oh yeah, I mean he's all right. But yeah, you're right. Everyone else, Ed Reed. Okay, so all sports. That is a legendary one squad across any sport. Really hard to deny. So that's a good one.
Man.
That's a good one. Dang. Okay. How about you? Aaron? What sport championship team could just match up? I think even with that championship team that Abel said, they could actually compete with an NFL team.
That's true. Man, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go with that sweep 2 years ago. That's the Golden State in 2018.
Golden State, so more recent. Okay.
Yeah.
The way that
I want to say 2000. I said 2017 team was better than 2018.
Look at the 4-0 sweep. I think maybe J.R. Smith.
I feel like the 17 team was better. 17, like roster wise, they had a little bit more of a bench.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, for me, I say that 18.
Yeah, any Warrior team with Durant. Except for the year they lost, I'll give it to them.
So let's go. Okay, so I'm going to challenge both of you guys. Still the same question. So do you think that team that you just said, the basketball team, the Golden State one, could compete or definitely beat the Bulls team? And then you think that the Miami team, let me think, it was another college. I'm trying to think of another one that everyone thinks is the greatest college team.
You probably put the I've noticed
not Ohio State, but they're gonna be. It's gonna come to me. Give me some time. There's another team that everyone says the greatest college football
team. Nebraska in the 90s.
Yeah. No, the USC. That's it. The USA team. The US.
You're talking about Reggie Bush with Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. So now that I give you back that counter argument about greatest teams, do you think, would you still hold firm that those teams are greater? You think those games would be close, or you still stand firm to your first statement?
For the Warriors, I say be close, but just the weapons. I know they was talking about Pippen and Rodman, but just like the weapons, just like Clay and Curry and Durant. And sometimes even Draymond, he can get hot, but just the weapons.
Okay.
I say it'll be close though. It won't be a 4-0 sweep though. I'll tell you that.
Okay. And then what about Abel for your Miami Hurricanes? You think they would compete or be close with the USC team?
USC. Shoot. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's a great question, man. I think Miami might get the edge. But you did have Bush and Lindo White, but I'm giving it to Miami.
And you're giving it to them because of the offense and not their defenses?
I'm giving it because of defense. Yeah, USC had better offense, but I mean, I feel like Miami had better skilled players. So even sometimes on the offense, you catch a break like a wide receiver takes the score.
There you go.
70 yards or whatever to the house, even though the quarterback went like 8 for 19.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's good. So that was my question to you two. So who wants to go next for the question for the rest of us?
Is it a question directly to you?
It could be to me, but I was thinking, yeah, whatever. Just ask me.
I could go next. What's the greatest Kanye album?
Oh dang. Shoot. His first one. College Dropout. Wait.
I would say
Okay.
Greg.
Let me rephrase. Okay, College Dropout. I remember. I actually saw Kanye West perform at Bowie State before he was big. He came to our homecoming. Like,
What
come
year
on.
was it? Like, what, 04, 03?
Yeah, 04, 03. That's how old I am. Yes.
You got any footage or
Came
what?
there, and he had the little backpack, and he was cool, and he wasn't crazy then, and he was dropping the songs. We were singing along. It was College Dropout, and I was like, it was like really before, like, oh, like you knew he was gonna be special. Like, wow, like he's awesome because, and he wasn't like the best rapper, but just the songs that he produced, and through the wire and using samples, and it was like I knew when I listened to College Dropout that he was gonna be a great artist. And then he just kept on going. And he had College Dropout or Late Registration. And then he had Graduation, which I still listen to Good Morning every day. I play that every morning just because I want to have a good morning. I just like that song. So for me, I know they had the song I missed. I want the old Kanye, but I actually do miss that. Like, for instance, like I really liked his first 3 albums. They were really entertaining for me. So for me to say greatest Kanye album, I don't know between the first 3, but I still, honestly, to this day, I still can listen. I can listen fully, play all the way through track 1 to all the different tracks, play College Dropout right now.
Okay.
So he's my favorite.
I would say mine, Graduation. That's when it came with, Homecoming.
Yeah.
Can't Tell Me Nothing. Just the hits. It was like my 8th grade year too, and it was like the beef with 50 Cent, like who will sell more.
Oh,
So that
yeah,
was like
yeah.
about the hype, like 50 Cent's album and Kanye's West album. They did a lot of damage with sale wise, but Kanye West won.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had Good Morning on that one too, right?
Yeah, Good Morning too. So I'd say Graduation for me.
Yeah.
Mine's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think that's the greatest album of all time.
Is that the one with the red with the little with the painting inside?
With the painting, yeah, the whole graphic painting. It got multiple covers and had a whole video. I think that's the greatest album as a piece of art, where it's just like, bro, it's just crazy.
I'm gonna listen. I can listen to that one over again.
You'll never get old. And I'm a big fan of Graduation and all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. We might have to do that. We might have to do a Twitter poll on that one. See what the listeners think. All right. So
Okay.
that was Abel's question. What's yours, Aaron?
And this one we gotta go back to like 10 years when the shoe games, or even 90s. What's your best shoe? It can be Jordans, foam posits.
Okay.
White posits.
So I've never been really big into the sneaker game. I still I'm also a real huge dork, but most recently, and just kind of like I always admired, was any of the Jordans, but more specifically, I like the Jordan 1s and 11s. I know that sounds so generic to say, but I just like the look of the 1s, 11s, and I like the 4 and 5s in between those two. And then colorways, and I really, really like, I'm not plain guy. I really just like breads. Anything black and red, I like those. I like those the most. They're just my favorite color. I think they're very simple, very simplistic. They look good. They go with a lot of things. I would say the Space Jams and the 11s that look like tuxedos that you can wear with like dress shoes. I mean, not dress shoes, but you can wear with a suit. I like those too. But honestly, I definitely like the breads of any of the numbers, and in particularly, I like the 1 and 11s the most.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 1s and 4s. Mainly 1s, honestly. 1s, yeah. Jordan. I'm not too big of a Jordan fan, but that 1s really just stick out to me, where it's just classic. So any 1s, you can't really go wrong with 1s.
No, you can't.
Compare 1s, I think that gotta be the Royals.
Which ones are those? What colors?
The royal blue ones.
Okay, yeah, those are nice.
But yeah, that's the one. That's my favorite pair. So yeah, I give it to the 1s for Jordan.
I never got into Yeezys. I think they're too expensive and they don't look that good to me.
Honestly, I've got like 2 pairs of Yeezys.
Yep.
Very comfortable. Well, I mean, you break into it, but you just gotta get it at the right price or whatever. But like I see what Kanye did. He wanted to make at first because when it started off, it was just too expensive. He wanted to make it accessible to everybody else or whatever. So that's why I basically left Nike. Where if you remember the Nike Air Yeezys,
Yep.
people like those more, but at the same time, the odds of you getting a pair is rare. Like it's like $1,000 or whatever.
For what?
Yeah, so Nike wanted to limit it, and they wanted to make the release just like so limited. That's why he left it. Like, bro, I wanted to be able to everybody to have it. I mean, now it's down to like I think almost when retails is like 200 or whatever. But now you notice how you see more people. Like since I've been in college, I've seen more people wear Yeezys than ever before. Like the Nike ones, you had to be a super sneakerhead.
Yeah, I got some Yeezys, but I never wore them. And the reason why I got them is my brother-in-law is a big sneaker guy. My brother-in-law, shout out to him, Nick, and he just gives me shoes. I don't know, because he's really into them. He buys too many. And I mean, not too many in a bad way, but he like buys them. He's like, yo, do you want them? I say, yeah. And that's pretty much how it goes. Because he gets different colors and stuff. So, well, those are great. This has been a great episode. You know, I really learned a lot. You actually kind of surprised you. I learned some things about you guys.
Oh, my answer, if you got my answer, I said LeBron 8s. Those were really
I
hot.
love LeBron. I have a pair of LeBron 8s. Bro.
Really hot back in my high school career. Like LeBron really, like, yeah, LeBron 8s.
I love LeBron 8s.
Well,
you talking about sneakers of all time?
Yeah, you're saying sneakers. Yeah, sneakers.
Oh, I love the certain Yeezys. I thought you were talking about just Jordans.
No, I'm saying I said Jordans.
I had the Kobe. I had the Kobe 8s. I had the Kobe 6, 7, 8s.
Jeez.
I don't want a pair now, bro, because they're gone. I remember I was rocking them in high school with the Kobe.
But okay, so we're talking about greatest of all time. We can do that, but ones that I really liked and I wore for myself personally were the Garnets.
Was it Adidas? Garnets?
No, it was the Nike ones, the ones that had like I'll send you a picture. They were black and had like this like aqua blue in the middle. And you could get them either white or black. I had the black ones. I'll send it to you as a picture. It's like no one remembers them. I mean, let's be honest, y'all. I grew up I graduated high school in 2003. So like, so the shoes I'm like ran for since are like, you know, like we were cool. And then foam posits. Everyone and their mama had foam posits at my high school.
Oh yeah. That's how it was.
And Bama's also like to wear the what's it called? The New Balances.
Oh yeah, New Balances.
Yeah. I don't know which one. What number? They have like a special number. I can't remember the number. And then it's Saucony's. Random Bama's from Saucony's. People wear Saucony's, or they were kind of.
I see a couple people.
Yeah, they were like
with that. Those are terms where a lot of people start wearing more the running shoes, like not the New Balances, like the DMV staple New Balances, but like the running New Balances.
Oh, I see those too. Yeah. So this has been a great episode. Maybe we'll do it again. I'm gonna say maybe as in yes, maybe strong one. See what maybe do an update. Maybe one later on. Maybe one for a year into it. How the real world is treating you guys. But for the time being, the platform, the stage is yours. I used to call this segment shout outs and plugs, meaning shout outs like whoever you want to shout out, give some love to, you know, because you're gonna send this episode to them. Just say, no, I thought about you. Want to give you a shout out, and then plugs. Plugs are anything that how you want the listeners to follow up with you, whether it's your social media that you're comfortable with or any venture or side hustle that you're working on. Share that with the listeners. Make sure to tell me, and I'll put that in the show notes. So the stage is both for you gentlemen. Shout out some plugs. Go ahead.
Definitely got to shout out to mom and dad. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Abnazer, Kofi, Michelle. Shout out to Julia. You know where you at. And just a lot of people, family, friends, and shout out to IA. Insane.
I just want to shout out. I mean, people dealing with the virus, like this whole situation. I just hope that we'll see better days. I feel like we will. At the same time, I want to shout out all the seniors graduating and like keep our heads up. I really want to see y'all like have that ceremony. And then from there, just like let's just keep pushing.
Yeah, keep pushing. Stay strong.
All right, and plugs. How you want the listeners to follow up with, or anything that y'all working on that you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, y'all can follow me at double_AAM. That's my Instagram. If you need my Twitter, just hit up Phil. I don't use my Twitter like that, so I forgot the name.
Yeah, there you go. And Abel.
So yeah, y'all follow me on Lupin the Second. Lupin LUPIN_second. Twitter, IG. I try to provide comedy on the TL. Like, if it's retweeting, is the stuff I retweet that.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm 35 years old. This dude had me. I be with my wife and I be geeking, and I show her. She's like, "Yo, something wrong with you, man." And she said something wrong with me, like me geeking, because the stuff you be posted has me so weak. So I don't even know where you find this stuff. But yeah, if you like comedy on your news feed, definitely follow the mayor of Woodbridge, because you got some comedy. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. Listeners, please share this episode with your family and friends. If you have a question for the podcast, you can call the number 571-336-6560. That's the podcast hotline. Please follow with these two gentlemen. Show them some love on their social media. And, I'm just wanted to say, like, as I close out this episode, I'm so proud of both you guys. And I'm just really thankful for the journey of meeting you guys through Alpha, but just in general as young men and doing your thing. And I see how y'all doing in the real world. It makes me proud, and hopefully continue on that. As I get older, you get older, and I'll see how y'all continue your life journey, getting old and washed like me. But I think that you're doing great things, and just keep it up.
All right, thank you, man.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it, man. Take your time.
All right. Thank you for listening to Positive Filter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.